So we go back up to the start and we see the race between St. Joseph's Preparatory School, and they are on the left of your shot where all the people are standing on the Berkshire station, and on the Buck station, that's just by the island, are the Flatow-Oberschule from Germany. And it's a great little match-up in the PE Princess Elizabeth Challenge Cup for schools, Jim.
Yeah, a bit like the last race, Martin, one large crew compared to the other. The German crew, 14.5 stone a man compared to 12.5 from St. Joseph Prep. So really interesting how the two crews do.
Do you reckon that St. Joseph's have got a little bit, I know they're slightly down on that shot potentially there, but they've got a little bit going for them with these tailwind conditions, because it'll suit those guys.
It's set up for them. That's certainly the first half of the race. I'm not so sure about the second half of the race, but certainly the first, that the tailwind coming around the island.
I was looking at the time to the barrier of these two crews yesterday, and 1:52 for St. Joseph's and 1:51 for the Germans. So it's going to be a very close race. Let's go live now. And here we are at the halfway point, and it looks pretty tight there, Jim.
Doesn't it? Just really, really close. And this will be really hurting. They're halfway through now, legs burning, lungs on fire. I would suggest the next half of the race is all in the head. Who wants it more?
Well, these guys didn't have much of a race yesterday. The Germans from Flatow-Oberschule beat St. George's, I think, fairly comfortably. St. Joe's, we saw that race and commentated on it, beat Canford School. It looks like the Germans have just got a little bit of an advantage coming on from our camera halfway, but it's the narrowest of margins. I mean, I say that, what is it, about 3-4 metres, you reckon, Jim?
Yeah, about that. A third of a length, maybe, no more than that. Quite closely matched the number of strokes they're taking a minute.
So there was a look from the foreman in the 8th from St. Joseph's Preparatory School, Robert Rakes, a 17-year-old. His highlight of the season has been winning the Stotesbury Cup, which is the challenge race for American schoolboy 8 in Philadelphia, St. Joseph's Row in Philadelphia on the Schuylkill River. It's a nice race, that. What's that, about half a length at the moment?
Maybe a bit more. Flatow just increased their rate of striking in the last 20 seconds. They put a move in as we're going past what looks like Upper Thames Rowing Club are approaching it, and they've got a half a length extra lead out than that. St. Joseph's, I think if they want to keep in contact, they need to make a move now, increase the rate of striking, maybe more power in the water. I'll
tell you what's interesting about this German crew. Ben Roach, who just put in that burst, he's just a 16-year-old. It's his first Henley Regatta, but in the middle of the boat, Lucas Wojciechowski, who's got famous mum and dad, both rowers. His dad rowed in the Sydney Olympics in the Polish quad. There you see the St. Joe's crew. Sorry, no, that's the Germans, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, do beg your pardon. The foreman, Lucas Wojciechowski, just in front of the guy with the white hat. He's got famous mum and dad, and he's only 15. And Lewis Huck, 15 years of age. And really, I think for those youngsters that old, I mean, effectively they're J15, J16 rowers. To be in an 8 that fast.
And already some of them are German national champions, so they're amazing standard.
We have seen, haven't we, Jim, in this event at Henley, a lot of German junior gold medalists from the boys 8 and from the boys quad, and they come back and they row at the regatta. They don't quite keep it onto the national team. Still a pretty close race, and Joseph haven't given up. I don't know if there's enough water. I'm looking down from my commentary position, and there is around about 350 metres to go. It's not impossible that St. Joe's could get through, but it'd take a mighty effort, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it just? I think it goes to reflect the nature of the entry in this year's regatta. There are so many overseas crews, 159, I think, from 17 different countries, wonderfully supported. And you can see why, and this racing experience is a lot of people their first time. It's really special.
Michael Linkata, 17 years of age, his back is the first thing that will cross the line in the St. Joe's boat. He hopes it will cross it first. I think they are battling back, but they're still down about that half a length. And this is going to be a very, very tight finish. So I think the station that St. Joseph's are on, if there's any advantage to be had, then it'll be on that station. But St. Joseph's battling back, and then they're coming right into it, Jim.
They've increased their rate of stroke. They're going up to 39, 40 strokes a minute. They're really backing out. You see they're getting closer and closer. They're close to the crowd. Maybe that's lifting them.
Just about 3 or 4 metres in it. I don't think there's enough space for them to get back on the Germans, but the Germans are hanging on by the slimmest of threads. St. Joseph's on the right of your picture. It's the German from Flatow-Oberschule on the left of your picture. It's going to be extremely narrow. St. Joseph's coming right back at the finish, and oh, I think they've got it. It's so close, we can't really call it on the finish because our camera's not directly on. But what an incredible sprint from St. Joseph's. We were talking the Germans up the whole way down. The German six-man lies down in the boat. Let's have a look at the finish line replay. And that is absolutely a sensational win from St. Joseph. Left it right to the last, Jim.
What a comeback. Amazing. I generally thought with 300 metres to go they'd lost it. But what a brilliant, tenacious fight that's coming back through the stewards' enclosure.
So Michael Inquata, the 17-year-old, did cross the line first, and that meant that St. Joseph Preparatory School of the USA, in the heat of the Princess Elizabeth Cup, beat Flatow-Oberschule from Germany. Fantastic race by what, just, well, probably about 50, 60 centimetres or so.
Just goes to show size and everything, is it? It's much lighter crew, came back, brilliant race.
Tailwind conditions absolutely suited them in the end, didn't it? And the Germans are going to be absolutely gutted with that, because they were the bigger crew. They had the lead in the race. You think if they're going to go off quickly in an eighth race. It's a shake of the head from the four-man Lucas Wojciechowski, the guy with the famous mum and dad. Sure, he'll be back.
It's that last 100 metres when they took the number of strokes a minute through the roof. They were well over 40 strokes a minute.
You can, if you're really good at rowing, and I think they had a nice pickup, a nice sequencing with the boat. You can actually come through and do really well. I saw the Romanian women beat the British women at the European Championships, taking the rate up to 50. Didn't quite match that with St. Joseph's, but they had a nice run on the boat. They kept their length.
They've got to do it together as well. It's got to be perfectly synchronised to pull that off. All eight of you absolutely synchronised with the cox's control. It's got to be perfectly done. It's so hard to do.
So I think that St. Joe's will probably go on to race Shiplake as the winners of Shiplake or Reading Blue Coat in the next round.